Good evening, everyone. I'm Sean Madden, your lead commentator for this evening, and welcome to Belgium for the penultimate week in Season 10 of the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Mega Grid Series here at Zolder. Now, we don't have Rob Barker alongside me tonight, so I have a special guest and probably under close scrutiny tonight. I am absolutely delighted to have alongside me in the commentary box John Wright. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Sean. Good evening, everyone. Absolute pleasure to be here. Can't wait to get stuck into this tonight, Sean.
Fantastic stuff, yes. As mentioned, we have taken a short trip to Belgium to one of my favourite circuits on the calendar. That is Zolder for another mega grid, once again on the PS5, putting both the pros and the AMS drivers through their paces on one grid. As there's only 2 rounds left of the Season 10, it's going to be key for the drivers to put on a good show and make their final positions count, particularly for those that are still in contention for the championship. Now, expect a high octane intense couple of races tonight. Absolutely can't wait for the races tonight. John, can you give us all the info and details on tonight's races, please?
I absolutely can. We've got 2 races tonight, as well as 2 seriously excited commentators, because much like Sean, this track is an absolute favourite of mine. Cannot wait to see what the tight, twisty Zolder chicanes have got in store for us tonight. And what we've got in store in the broadcast: 20 minutes of qualifying, 2 10-minute qualifying sessions split between the pros and the AMS, and then it is 2 races, one 20-minute race and then one 40-minute race. Of course, there won't be any mandatory pit stops. Refueling will be allowed, just in case the drivers don't quite do their calculations correctly, which, let's face it, you're trying to save every gram of weight that you can. That can certainly come into play. But yeah, it's a fascinating format, Sean, and it's been a phenomenal season so far.
It has indeed. It's pretty much a 2-horse race at the top of the championship for the pros, but we'll obviously get into that very, very shortly. Also, John, can you give us a little bit of information about Zolder, please?
One of the greatest tracks on the planet, and easily the second best track in Belgium. If it wasn't for Spa, it would be. Back to you, Sean. No, I'm only kidding. Zolder is located very close to Heusden Zolder. No way I'm pronouncing that one correctly. In the province of Limburg in Belgium. That pronunciation left me in limbo there. The current configuration: 4 kilometres, 2.4 miles long for the old school amongst you. You're welcome, I've got your back. And it features 10 and 16 turn variations, depending on how you count the complexes, particularly after the Villeneuve chicane. The Zolder circuit is known for its undulating layout with elevation changes and a mix of challenging corners, making it a technically demanding track for drivers and for broadcasters, because there's a lot of trees that like to get in the way. Zolder doesn't come without tragedy. One of the most tragic moments in the track's history occurred during the 1982 Formula 1 Belgian Grand Prix. During the race, of course, Gilles Villeneuve's Ferrari collided with Jochen Mass's car and went airborne, crashing into and catching a fence. Villeneuve tragically lost his life in the incident. The fastest lap around here at 1 minute 28.3. Mine's isn't quite so fast. I'm actually not far off that pace, actually. At 1 minute 29.7 is my own personal quickest time around here, so I'm not too out of my depth, but it is a very short track, so when you're behind the wheel of a Ferrari, it's even shorter, I can assure you, Sean. And as you say, it's a 2-horse race around here at Zolder. Well, certainly it's a 2-horse race in the standings. In Zolder is where we're going to see that race very much play out tonight in the penultimate round.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, well, we are just about to go into the standings. So, yeah, let's have a look at the current standings for both the pros and the AM drivers after week 6. So, in the pro standings then, we have got Zdeněk Vortel, who extends his lead at the top of the tree to 28 points. This is because he managed to grab an 8th So my lap around Zolder, its track length is 4 kilometres or 2.5 miles with 10 turns total. So just approaching turn 1, we're looking for that sign as our braking point. So it's a hard brake down into second gear, clip the apex and run it quite wide on the exit. And then on turn 2, we can either look for the board on the left or the board right in front of you in the middle of the screen, down into second gear, up to third gear, and then it's flat through turn 3 as we approach turn 4. And that is our braking marker, that little bit of concrete patch on the left-hand side between the two grass verges. And we're down into third gear, and we can actually carry a lot of the speed through the corner. Yeah, we're up to 140 miles per hour down the straight, and then we're braking just after that 100 board for the chicane, and it's down to second gear, and try not to go over too much of the curves because that will unsettle the car, and it's completely flat through turn 6. And as the track straightens up for turn 7, the Villeneuve chicane, it's hard on the brakes down into first gear, and try and get over to the left-hand side as quickly as possible. And then it's completely flat through turn 8, up the crest, down the hill, and then for this slow hairpin for turn 9, we're braking on the 100-yard board, so it's down into first gear, and try and get a good exit out of there, and it's completely flat through the left and right hand kink. And as we approach the final chicane for turn 10, we're braking where that flag is, just after the 100 board, and it's down into first gear, get over to the left hand side, swing it back over to the right hand side, and then flat out of the exit, and we come across the finish line for a 1 minute 29.8. So John, you beat me.
A tenth of a second. Wow. Well, there we go. And I can actually, if you give me about 4 minutes of your time after the stream, I can shave about half a second off that lap for you. So there we go. Yeah. Did you sorry, say that again?
I said, please don't.
Oh, you definitely want to get quicker though. You definitely want to go quicker. As we can see, the drivers, they're going quick out on track. They're proving why Sean and I commentate and they drive. Silva already done a 1 minute 28.8 out at the front. Oh, it's the pros that are out first. My apologies.
So the pros are out for
pros
10
first,
minutes.
sorry, yes.
Yeah, and then the amateurs for the last 10
minutes. For 10.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, the other competition I commentate on for FRL is the arms out first. Because I was going to say, if that's the time the arms are setting. But no, at least that's the pros that are doing 28s. If the arms start doing 28s as well, I might have a steering wheel for sale. Drofter in the chat, good evening. Here for the goated comms. Never fear, Rob might not be here, but Sean still is. You're definitely in for luck. The racing is just a bonus, he said. Drofter. You say the nicest things, you really do. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
He really is, And part of a race team as well, aren't you? Do you do racing yourself?
I think he does racing, and he does, was it race engineering, isn't it, I think?
Okay. Nice. Ooh. I could do with a decent race engineer. Actually, no. I could do with some driving talent. If you've got any of that, let's go and spare. Feel free to chuck it my way. Plenty of driving talent up at the front though, Sean, and Vortel and Silva at the moment head and shoulders above the rest. Still 3 minutes to go qualifying. The track is optimum though, but yeah, Silva and Vortel. 2 tenths separating them, and 6 tenths back is the rest of the field. They're stamping their authority early doors here.
Yes, indeed, and of course we are expecting big things from Vortel, who is currently leading the championship by 28 points to Busov. This is a very important round for Busov, of course, because if if he does worse than Vortel, then he's almost like handing the championship to Vortel. So, of course, no pressure to Busov, of course, but currently in P7, and he finds himself 1.2 seconds down on the pole sitter, and that is Silva, who has just gone even quicker with a 1 minute 28.3, John.
Wow.
So,
incredible scenes. 4/10 ahead of the rest of the pack, and we've got 3 drivers on almost identical times. Townsend, Friedman and Souza. 1.06 seconds off pole, 1.07 seconds off pole, 1.08 seconds off pole, and Townsend's just gone quicker. He's separated himself from the 1 second pack. He's now joined the 7/10 club, because we've now, Sean, got 3 drivers at 7/10 off of that pole position time. So that is 5 drivers under 1 minute 29, and 3 of them with almost identical time. And Buzov pops up, of course. He's got 8/10, and so's in 9/10, and Friedman is, of course, 1 second. A second separating the top 8, and barely a 10th separating them outside of the world of a lap that Silva's put in there.
Indeed, John. I kind of expected it, to be honest, because the pro drivers on their given day can beat anyone, and Silva clearly really likes Zolder by that time, because 4/10 is quite a margin, to be honest, on a circuit like Zolder. So he decides to pit as well, so maybe he's more than satisfied with his pole position time there, or maybe handing the gauntlet to Vortel.
He's certainly laid the gauntlet down. As you say, 4/10 is a big gap to be seeing around a course as short as this. 1 minute 28 really is a very short lap. Drivers will be eternally grateful, though, because it is an unbelievably long pit lane. Zolder, out of all the tracks on the GT3 calendar, it actually has the longest pit lane compared to the track length out of any track. That includes Spa by a considerable margin as well. It's something like 78% of your lap that you lose in Zolder. 1 minute 28 lap times you're set in 1 minute 29. For normal people like Sean and myself, it's race pace 1 minute, moving swiftly on. But yeah, so the drivers, I'm sure, will be eternally grateful. They don't have to go into the pits this evening, and if any of them do, it really will be race over. The pit lane here is as unforgiving as the curbs through that first chicane. But yeah, 4/10. Oh, and he's run off track there. Vortel done with qualifying as well. So is Kroos. Buzov, though, still out on track, Sean. So some of the quick drivers still out there setting times, and Buzov looks like he could be the last driver to really get close to these top times.
Well, Craig Lord just gets himself into the top 4 then, so got ahead of the drivers at a 7/10, or that sort of...
Oh, he did?
Yeah, three-way pack in the 7/10 there, but yeah, so... and Townsend as well, up into the top 4 with 128.9. Busov didn't go quicker, however, and he starts from P6, so... Busov's got to be very, very disappointed from qualifying, and
he might start in 6th. He might start in 7th. Here comes Naisbitt.
Oh, Naisbitt, yeah.
Oh, didn't go quicker.
Okay.
Didn't go quicker. Oh, yeah, that was, that could have been close there. But Law there, my apologies to Law. I did not see. He is the Law, and he laid it down there, top 5. I mean, look at those time shots. That is incredible. It really accentuates what you were saying about.
If he saw Law there, I don't know if he's supposed to still be out there. I'll be honest, I didn't keep an eye on when he actually crossed the line, because if he had crossed the line just before the 10-minute countdown, he would have still been able to put another flying lap in. If it was afterwards, then he should have gone back into the pits. He's going back into the pits now.
Unless this was his in lap.
Yeah.
You would just return to garage. But yeah,
So
causing a bit of a coming together there.
yeah, indeed. Luckily for the pro-ams, or the AMs, should I say, that they're on their out laps, so that wouldn't have affected anybody else really. But even so, yeah, almost absolute carnage really.
Yeah, during qualifying as well. It's not what you need when you've only got 10 minutes, even around the track as short as Zolder. Of course, the drivers, again, I've mentioned it before, running the absolute bare minimum amount of fuel to keep the cars as light as possible. Certainly the case during qualifying as well. Just having a look at the timetables from the pro qualifying, and only one driver in the top 3 got a purple sector.
Oh wow.
So when I was talking about it being close, I mean it is close. 4 drivers going sub 1 minute 29. We've got Silva taking a purple sector 1, and interestingly it's the BMW that takes sector 2. So no middle engine rear wheel drive dominance, but it is the Ferrari of Law. Popped at 29.002 in there, right at the death of the pro qualifying. Takes purple sector 3. And as the ARMS are bringing home the times, I'm going to labour the point of how close this is and just how much of a gap Silva has got himself. Silva 4 tenths ahead of Vortel in second. Vortel is a 10th and a half ahead of Kroos. Kroos is less than a 10th ahead of Townsend. Townsend is less than a 10th ahead of Law. Law is less than a 10th ahead of Busov. Busov is half a 10th ahead of Alerts. A 10th separates Alerts and Friedman in 7th and 8th. There's 200s separating Friedman and Souza in 8th and 9th, and there's a 10th and a half separating Souza and Mulnix. The top 10 separated by a 10th right through the field. Bring on the Zolder, baby.
Indeed. And I've just seen Mulnweg. I missed him coming across the start-finish line, but he is pole position for the amateur drivers. And as I alluded to in the standings, one to watch out for, because he was absolutely dominant around Valencia, getting 2 race victories. Currently setting times that is, competing with some of the pros.
That is a competitive time. 100%, that is a competitive time. 1 minute 29.5. That's a competitive time. Very, very, very. Only just a 10th behind Naisbitt there in 11th. And unless I've missed my mark, I think we're going to see a 10th or 2 come off that time. I think he could get himself a 128.3, a 129.3, maybe a 129.2 if he gets this, gets the hairpin correct. Which of course he does. Doesn't use as much of the runoff on exit, which he would certainly be inclined to do. The track is optimum, 30 degrees, so we're not going to see the absolute fastest times the drivers are capable of. It's amazing how much time the track temperature can change the lap times.
Yes, of course, definitely. Yes, he does improve as well. Under a second from Silva into the top 10 overall. And he's currently 6 tenths quicker, or maybe 5.5 tenths quicker than the nearest amateur driver, John.
Indeed. I hate to be that guy, but called it. Top 10. And just inside the time that I thought he was going to get. I did think he would get that 29.1, 29.2. And that is... it's a 29.3 he got. So actually, no, you know what? I think he's got another 10th on him. I did say about 29.3, 29.2. I think he has got another 10th on him. I think he is going to go a bit quicker still. There's a couple of those corners, like I say, the exit to the hairpin. It looked to me like he could have used a bit more track. I mean, he was maybe just setting a banker lap.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? But the rest of the drivers setting times thick and fast, and much like the pros, Sean, it is pretty close to Cart and Olamak. They're 15th and 16th overall, 3rd and 4th.
And that was Gedman,
for
I
the Ams.
think, that was off the track as well. So Gedman not enjoying it out there at Zolder. Luckily, it's just qualifying. But yeah, Gedman finds himself in P25 for the amateurs. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about top 10 for the amateurs right now.
Yeah, it's good to see everyone's got a time set as well. So everyone has managed to get themselves a time set. Some cars coming in and out of the pits to get some fresh rubber onto the rims. In fact, I do actually like the arms coming out second, because it means they get the better track conditions. The track's a lot more rubbered in, rather than the arms going out and making it even easier for the pros.
Yes, indeed.
That's good.
Yeah, I second that as well, John. I didn't think of that before, but yeah, no, you've got a very good point. Moornweg, as alluded to, under a second behind, the top pro time, and probably more importantly, quicker than us at the moment, John.
Just a tad. Yeah. Moving swiftly on, Sean.
Yeah, less of that, less of that. But yeah, so no.
Don't have a fancy microphone and audio software because it can drive.
But yeah, no, very, very impressive, as I said, very, very impressive, and yeah, he is definitely one to watch for the 2 races in the amateurs, of course. Can he bring it home for the victory for the amateurs? It is a bit of a shame for Moornweg, actually, that he missed a few of the rounds, because if he had have competed in the rounds that he missed, maybe we would see him a lot, higher up the league tables. But it is what it is. I
mean, I think it's safe to say you're saying he's one to watch for the rest of the championship. Let's call it like he is. He's one to watch in the pros next season. Doesn't matter where he finishes in the championship. He's going to the pros.
Yeah.
But if he finishes out with promotion, there's no way he's going to stay in the Arm League. It's no offence to the rest of the field. He's currently 3/10 ahead of Clayton, which is the same gap that Silva's got, but he's competing in the top 10 overall. Yeah. As 100% guarantee that Williams and the gang will do the right thing,
but John,
and they'll put Moornweg up. Yeah.
Look at the standings.
Oh, my apologies, Clayton. I absolutely, I'm going to go and hang my head in the same. Yeah. So, John, you can't drive, you can't commentate. Yeah, I'll read the standings, Sean. Sorry, you got on with the real stuff. I'll just read the standings, because clearly I know absolutely nothing. What a lap by Clayton.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, definitely take a bow, son. That was absolutely fantastic. But Moornweg is still out there on a track. We didn't see the first half of the lap. However, he's going to be...
Vlotten half a tenth behind.
Oh, there we go.
I really need to learn my lesson and not jump in too quickly.
I think they did hear you. And Moornweg does take P1. He's 31,000th of a second quicker than Clayton. So I think.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that is super, super close. What does that work out to be, John? I'm gonna have to look at the timetables.
300s between Moornweg and Clayton. The three of them, Friedman, 4 drivers, 8/10 of a second off the overall pole. Vlotten, Olamak, exactly the same time.
Wow.
Vlotten and Allmark have hit exactly the same time. That is ridiculous. My apologies for not having better knowledge of the drivers in the league. Some otherworldly times, but that is incredible. The arms are even closer than the pros, and you know what? I should know this because Chris Gedman did tell me that the tiers right through all the leagues at FRL are unbelievably close, and I'm really starting to take his word for it now, because that is absolutely ridiculous. I'm fascinated by data, and that is just crazy. And they've set exactly the same time. 1 minute 29.375.
Yep. Unbelievable.
Identical sector 1 times as well. 30.205 for Vlotton and Olamak. Identical sector 1 times.
I mean, what are the odds, eh?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. 2 different cars as well, is it? It is. Ferrari and the McLaren.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Sorry, Sean, I'm sitting here fascinated. We've got some final results to bring the viewers from qualifying.
Indeed. I just wanted to say hello to chat. Dazar, who's in chat, he's actually a driver in the grid here, John. That is, if I can find him, that is Dazza Townsend, who is in P27 in the BMW M4 GT3 car.
Nice. Good evening, Daza. Best of luck.
Yeah, best of luck to you, Dazza.
Keep going. He's still looking for Daz. He says, yeah, keep going down. Keep scrolling down. Just scroll down. Bit more. There we go.
Well, Dazza,
you're doing way better than we are, Daza.
Yeah, exactly.
At least you're on track behind the wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
We get to hide behind a microphone and judge people that are far more talented than us.
Yep.
So. But you're right, exactly, Daza. The Yaz way, the only way is up. No, I won't start singing Yaz song. No, I won't start singing. It's fine.
Yeah, don't get him started.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Also, thank you so much for the follow as well from Sarah Hawkey as well.
Oh, Sarah Hawkey.
Yep. Good to have you on board, Sarah.
Partner in crime to
Mr. Luke Taylor.
Luke Taylor,
Yep.
Midnight ISO. Yes. There we go.
Yep, indeed.
Because I saw you gave another channel that I was on a follow as well, Sarah. So thank you very much for that as well. Showing a bit of love to the little Raven Comms team that we've got building here.
Indeed.
Fun times. But yeah, Sean, the starting grid for the race. Before I wax lyrical about everything.
Yes, indeed. So we have got a McLaren front row then, haven't we, in Silver and Vortel. So this is going to be very, very fascinating between the two. Vortel will be pushing to get the race win, of course, because leading the championship, if he gets, I believe if he gets 2 wins today, he may.
It's game over.
It's pretty much game over, isn't it? I don't
There's
think.
no pretty much. I mean, unless he drops right out the top 15. There's only a couple of points separating the points that the winner and second place and third place get. There's not much of a gap between the amount of points, and there's a fairly sizable gap between them in the moment. So
yeah, I mean, if Busov gets a poor run or he gets a DNF or something like that, then yeah, it's definitely game over. If Busov is able to sort of propel himself up during the race, to sort of like a podium position or something, then there's still something to play for in round 8. But yeah, Vortel in a commanding position. Let's just call it that. But yeah.
You can definitely call it a commanding position. It's safe to say, yes. No one's going to contradict you on that one for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, row 2, we've got Kroos and Townsend then. So it's Ferrari against BMW. We got Law against Busov for row 3. That is the Ferrari and the Porsche. Then we got Kobe, and we've got the first of the amateurs, which is Maximilian on row 4. And then row 5, we've got Clayton and Friedman, and the second of the amateurs as well on row 5. So yeah, this is where we try and make our predictions then, John. Who do you predict for race 1?
The viewers. I'm going to predict the viewers are the winners in this one, because Drofter pointing out in the chat, it's so weird seeing more cars than just the McLaren near the front. Let's go Townsend. I want a BMW to win. I'm going to go with Drofter.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Drofter. He knows his stuff. I did already know actually about the Thomas N thing. I'll meet that many teams and things over all the broadcasts. I do a couple of broadcasts here and there. But I'm sure I did already know that. I'm sure I've spoken to him before a bit specifically about that. But yeah, Drofter knows his stuff. So if he says BMW, I'm going BMW. Rob, even the gentleman, no pressure, Sean. The boss is in the room. Rob, you're not the boss. I keep telling you that you're not the boss. Right? Like we need to get this complex. I don't know where it's coming from. Sorry, couldn't be there tonight. Amazing day at Donington for the BTCC. The racing will be nowhere near as good as it is here tonight. So you know. But you at least made it in for the broadcast to watch the race itself, as we can see. Full formation lap, Sean, 31-degree track temperature. It's creeping up ever so slightly.
It is
Sorry,
indeed.
just drops.
Perhaps
it's
not,
getting a little bit warmer there.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps not as hot as it was the other day at...
Imola, 58 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit toasty, wasn't it, John?
A bit toasty is the understatement of the century. Yeah, as soon as the tyres got past 4 laps, there was just no rubber and glowing hot rims. That was it. There was not much rubber left on the cars at all as they were making their way around there. So yeah, definitely a lot more forgiving than the 31 degree, than the 58 degrees we've seen there. We're still 31. It's getting on the warm side. We've only got 20 minutes, but it is a times 2 multiplier in race, so it will be 40 minutes that the drivers will go through for this race, and then 80 minutes, an hour and 20, in race number 2. But they've still got to get. They've got to get through race number 1 first, Sean.
Yes, they
and
do indeed.
These chicanes.
And this is where, and I hate to say it, but this is where it tends to get a bit messy, because 20 minutes is not a very long time for a race, of course, is it, John? So this is where drivers make very optimistic moves, let's just say. Yeah, we've seen many a time where there's been multiple collisions on lap 1. So we're hoping that it's going to be a bit cleaner at the start, but yeah, this track, not much space out on circuit, so it's going to be very interesting.
Very interesting. I know from first hand, turn 1 at Zolder is a corner that doesn't get enough credit as being a card carrying killer. Monza is mean, Suzuka is borderline psychopathic, but the turn 1 here, it is so easy to invite the other drivers around you to get involved in a 5 wide, 4 wide on the way in. I can assure you, you're not getting any more than 2 wide on the way out. And it is the same in the chicane. All it takes is one driver to lose visibility of his braking marker, and you've got a strike. There's multiple cars are going to get themselves taken out. It's yeah, full 10-pin bowling manoeuvres. Like the Nürburgring turn 1. It's such a long run to turn 1, such heavy brakes. One car makes a mistake. As I well know, my first ever league race, I completely ruined somebody's championship. So I still have PTSD about that. That's not a joke, by the way. The guy lost the championship because of that race. But yes, I'll get you to take this one away, Sean. 20 minutes first, then 40 minutes. Bring on the Zolder action. Yes,
indeed. So drivers are in position now as we start round 7 here at Zolder for the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Series. And it's green, and away we go. And it's pretty clean, actually, John. Pretty clean between the drivers. No real movers or shakers at the moment as we go through turn 3. Although Kobe up the on the outside of Busov up into P6. But Vortel, has Vortel slipped down? I think Melvin Crow's made a move on Vortel. Hold on 1 second.
No, not quite.
No, that's not, is it? No. So just waiting for the leaderboards to sort itself out there. But actually, no, I was wrong, because Vortel is the black McLaren, so far in P2, with Croce just behind in P3. But it's Silver that is leading the charge as we go through the Villeneuve chicane. Has a nice little gap, actually, to Vortel as we go through the right-hand turns here, and to the hairpin, of course, at turn 9.
Oh, yeah, a couple of spinners a bit further down the field. Townsend has just come a cropper in the second chicane. He's dropping down the order, and also Mulnix was the Ferrari who just caught sight of him. The pro driver now not only outside the top 15, he's actually running in 27th position overall. He's dropped so far down the field. Wazzer, another one of the pros down there, and Townsend, as I just mentioned, in the second chicane. But we've got some action up at the front of the field, Sean.
Yes, indeed, we have. We do have indeed, because Law is all over the back of Melvin Crows, fighting for that P3, of course. We know that Law is a very, very competitive driver, and if he sees an opportunity, he normally does go for it. So Crows is going to have to be very wary of what's behind him, and will have to defend like mad.
Buzov up a position. Buzov's made a position. He's got up past Ali Ertz. Confirmation just coming through there. Yep, he's up to 6th position then. So yeah, he is making moves in the races. Couldn't quite get it done in quali, and with the way Vortel, Crows and Law are battling, they're going to want to get that one sorted sooner rather than later. Busov, as we know, needs to bring home some points today. He is going to be on a charge. He's got Townsend ahead of him, and Vortel, Crows and Law. They're doing the slow themselves down dance as the battle through the hairpin. Buzov could be good for a catch up here, and also in the arms. I was trying to watch the arms, but Clayton has got the jump on Monveg there in 8th place overall, Sean. He's got the lead in the arms.
Wow. So, yeah, Clayton must have absolutely sent it on him on the hairpin then. I was on Monveg, and he was looking to actually close down one of the pro drivers. I think it was possibly.
Souza.
Yeah, that's it. But Souza, which he did get past him actually. So, and Busov has made a mistake, isn't he? Busov has gone down into P9, I believe, because that is Morveg. That is just sweeps around the outside of him, and he's under all sorts of pressure as well. I think that's Souza, isn't it? Souza drawing up alongside him on the outside, sweeps past him as well, and Busov down into 10th.
Not only that, 2 positions down, Olemak he's jumped up the field. He's got past Vlottin, he's 3rd. So it's all changed on the podium positions. He almost went past Will Friedman there. Will Friedman losing out to Souza. He was pretty much the rabbit in the headlights there, Friedman, as he approached the battling cars up in the second chicane there. Incredible action going on. Clayton still leading the way though in 7th there for the Arms, and Monveg in 8th position as we're watching at the minute the battle for 12th there still Olemak and Friedman. So Olemak, this one isn't for position, but maybe just for slight bragging rights. Let's face it, if you're the Arms, it's always nice to have a couple of the pros at least finishing behind you, and there's definitely a few pros down the order. Mulnix has made it back up to 25th position now, but he's still got a long way to go. And not a lot of time to do it, of course. The opening race only 20 minutes long, and we've already got 5 of those in the rear view mirror. Law within a second. The podium spreading themselves out. Sorry, on you go, Sean.
Yeah, Molnix went up the inside of Chris Gedman then for turn 1. So Molnix up into P24 and Gedman down in P25 as he's got pressure from Wazza. In fact, Wazza managed to go around the outside of Gedman. So something's happened to Wazza, John, because I'm sure Wazza started a lot further up than P26.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so something that
himself and Mulnix, lap 1, turn 2 and 3.
Right, okay.
I was watching further down the order there, but you were concentrating on the race lead, and so yeah, I was just banking that information. But yeah, Drofter in the chat, there was contact. I think it was actually just on the way to turn 2. The 2 Ferraris, part of the Red Seas effectively, one side of the track, one the other side of the track, both making their way back through the field. Mulnix is the front runner at the minute guiding Wazzer through. More moves in the background as well. 27th and 28th still in contention. It's 11th and 12th in the Arms, Frankenberg and Wessels having themselves a great little battle, but I think we need to jump back up to 8th position, Sean, because the battle for the arms is it's still a battle. They're still very close. They are within Ali Ertz as well, who's within 8/10 of Townsend. They're trying to catch up to Law, who's hanging with Kroos at the minute, but certainly the battle for the arms just coming alive, and Busov looks like he's about to get involved in this battle as well. Less than a tenth behind Souza, just behind him.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Busov, of course, poor start to his race one. Of course, he really needs some. Well, at least a podium position, really. So not an ideal start from Busov. So he will really need to push his way up the field. But yeah, certainly the amateurs right now in Clayton and Moornweg. Superb drive so far, and not looking out of place in terms of mixing it up with the pro drivers. Currently, Clayton 6/10 down on Kobe in P6, and Moornweg with breathing down Clayton's neck as well as we come up to the last turn, getting very close to the gearbox of Clayton, and if he didn't catch so much of that final curve, maybe it would have been challenging Clayton down at turn one. We've also got
100%, a lot of curb. Sorry, on you go.
Yeah, and we've also got Law all over the back of Melvin Kroos, fighting for that final podium position. Law has been behind Kroos for pretty much the whole of this race, as we've just completed 8 minutes of the 20-minute race. But yeah, Law giving all sorts of pressure to Kroos. Will he be able to handle the pressure? I am not sure, but this is obviously the very technical part of Zolder, where moves can't really be made, especially through the chicane. But Law will try to get as close to the back of Kroos by the time we get to the heavy braking zone of the hairpin. Can he make it work?
Yeah, he will certainly try his best, that is for sure. As you can see, he gets very close into that hairpin. I'm keeping an eye on all the battles that I can. I'm watching the main screen, of course, intently. Busov, Souza and Moornweg, though, that is certainly one that we're going to have to keep an eye on as well. Clayton still feeling the pressure, but finding a 10th on Moornweg over those last couple of sectors. Souza now closer to Moornweg than Clayton, so can this be the chance? Could this be the chance that Clayton needs to get himself a bit of breathing space, or is all this going to do bring Busov charging straight back in? He knows he needs points, we know he needs points, and he's made a bit of a mistake early doors, dropped down the order, so it really is an uphill task, but ensure more than capable of getting that task done. Currently 8th place, and it's not really going to be massively helpful for him in the championship, Sean.
It's not at all. Not good for Busov. Really needs to make some opportunities work for him. Souza, of course, he's no slouch. Souza's a very, very fast driver on his day. Busov's definitely got his hands full, and oh no, sorry, that's halfway in the race. Sorry, I thought we had a penalty dished out for someone there. But Law, look at Law. He is 2 tenths behind Kroos at the moment. He's getting ever so close to the back of Kroos now. And so far, Kroos is withstanding the pressure. But you can see, I would be scared to be that close to the car in front, but yeah, it looks like Law using that slipstream down the back straight. Surely he's going to make a move for turn one. He's up the inside. Kroos gives him the space, and Law makes it stick. Of course.
No, he didn't. He opened him up for the cutback.
Well, he did, but of course that will be the inside line, wouldn't it? So Law should, yes, he does get that right. So should now take P3 unless he does make a mistake, but Kroos is definitely not giving up without a fight, and he might send it on the inside for the chicane actually. He does send it, and oh, there's a little bit of contact between the pair of them, but Law had nowhere to go, and so Kroos regathers that P3, John.
He does indeed, yeah. I mean, to say Law had nowhere to go there, yeah, I'm not sure the stewards would potentially looking at the same place, but yeah, they have changed position there. It did look, for all the world, I've pulled a move very similar to that to turn one, and for all the world, it looked to me like Kroos had the optimum line through there. Law definitely through the car, but Kroos holding on to the podium at the minute. Clayton still holding on to the back of Alerts. I'm watching that battle as well as what are on the main screen, and it is incredibly close still. Souza still all over the back of Monveg, and they really are applying the pressure to Alerts now. Does Alerts just let them go through? I mean, he's currently got 6, and oh no, he can't actually, because he's got Souza right at the back. Ignore me completely. He's going to have to furiously defend this position, but if he defends too hard, all it's going to do is bring the 4 of them that little bit closer and put Souza firmly in the driving seat. You can put that McLaren in a position that can make it more than just a bit tricky for the drivers ahead, and really give them a big decision as to what happens going through the chicane. We're coming into the first chicane. It does look like Clayton and Alerts too far apart for a move at the moment, so they've separated out through turns 4 and 5.
I thought it was a big send from Souza, but he does cut the corner, and he's cut the corner and got an advantage, although does let through eventually Busov, and I think that was Mornveg, wasn't it? Mornveg?
It was.
Yeah, Mornveg, is that correct? Okay, so okay, so it was like that anyway, wasn't it? Clayton was P7, Mornveg P8. Clayton all over the back of Kobe now, John. This is
yes.
This is a phenomenal drive from the amateur driver, of course, in that Ferrari, putting all sorts of pressure to Kobe, who's a very experienced and fast pro driver as well at that. So big credit's got to go to Clayton, John.
Oh yeah, massive. To be holding it and actually jump up to 4th place, Sean. We've got Kroos again. Yep, again through turns 1, 2 and 3. These two nose to tail the Ferrari, looking for the more rubbered in inside line. Absolutely flat out here. So easy to get this corner wrong. Just a millisecond lapse in concentration. You are way off to the left hand side. Right on those inside curves, the Ferrari at Law absolutely on point with the lines there, but Kroos still managing to pull the gap away. So as close as they're getting through turns 1 and 2, Kroos just finding that breakaway in sector number 2 to stretch that gap out. Townsend Law then closes in through sector 3. They get close through sector 1, and Kroos steals off again in sector number 2, as we can see. He's a bit of lateral movement on the back of that car there. That's brought Law right back into contention into sector 3 this time. This is going to be a much more interesting turn 1 than it's been so far between these two. It's already been pretty spicy, as you mentioned as well, Sean. Clayton's more than keeping up with Alerts there in 6th and 7th, and not only that, after the recent cornering that we've seen, he's got a 1 second gap back to Monveg, which is a pretty convincing gap, as we keep watching these two, because this is a battle for the podium. And that's a mistake on the exit, Sean. Turn 1, here we go.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately for Lord, that will be the outside for turn 1. Kroos is going to defend the inside line. Law is going to try the switch back, but it looks like that Kroos got a better line out the exit. However, Law is not going to give up without a fight as we go through turn 3 and turn 4, and still all over the back of Kroos. If he can get a good exit, he's going to get pulled along by that slipstream of Kroos as we lead up to the chicane. He's not going to be able to make a move, unfortunately, for now, though. But then Kroos gets way too much of the curb and spins out in the background, and he has lost a position to not only Law,
2 positions, yep,
but to Townsend as well. Yes.
Yep, 2 positions, and not only that, Alerts is now absolutely barreling through that second chicane as well. That has massively, of course, dropped the gap there then. So those chicanes Sean, you did mention them in your opening. You really want to avoid those curves. There's a couple of them you can maybe just pop a wheel on here and there if you're feeling slightly brave, but that by Crows was just a little too brave there. All 4 wheels ended up on the gravel, and he's not only off the podium, he's now on the edge at the top 5 with Ali Ertz. He smells blood in the water at this stage.
He does indeed, and of course Elliot's from Belgium, John, so this is his home Grand Prix.
Home track.
Yeah, home track, yeah, so really wants to do well for the Belgians, but oh, that was Clayton! Clayton lost the rear of that Ferrari. I'm not 100% sure exactly what happened. I just see him off in the background, but after such a great start from Clayton, Clayton has lost how many positions now?
That is a few. 4, at least 4.
I think he was...
At least 4.
Yeah, behind Friedman, in fact, so outside of the top 10, so he just proves, John, how quickly things can change.
Indeed, yeah. The replay function on this still doesn't work very well. That's unfortunate. No, right, okay, so Jay Clayton, yes, let's see what happened, bud. Let's see what happened. Right, I'm in the replay. I will have a look and see if I can spot while you keep an eye on the live action.
Thank you, John. So Townsend, as we alluded to earlier, in P4 Crows, seems to be closing the gap on Townsend. It's roughly about 7-8 tenths at the moment, so that gap is closing. But obviously, yeah, because of Clayton's mistake, there has been a little bit of a rejig in the standings, so we do have Busov now that is up into P8 with Sousa in P9. Friedman rounds up the top 10. Clayton is a second behind in P11, but he's still in front of Olmak in P12. Just under 2 seconds is the gap between them. Any ideas from what you've seen so far, John?
I'm on board watching. Oh, wow. Yep, the exit curve to turn number 1. He went into turn number 1. He exited turn number 1. He put his foot on the loud pedal. He went directly into the left-hand wall.
Oh, wow.
Directly into the left-hand wall at a 270-degree angle. Absolutely no messing about there from the curbs. They have killed that Ferrari rather mercilessly there. But yeah, curb, driver error, pressure from the drivers behind. Who knows? There wasn't anybody too close to him. He was in fact coming up behind the driver ahead, so it looked more likely that he was getting the overtake done and applying the pressure rather than feeling it. But that's the race win effectively out the window, because the leader, Sean, is on the final lap.
He is indeed, I was focusing on Busov because it's very important for Busov to finish as high as possible. Lost the position to Sousa, but he's still all over the back of Sousa, who is defending the inside line. Busov is going to have to swing around to the outside. Can he make that work? Sousa he gives him the space, then sort of got on the throttle, and then all of a sudden that space had run out for Busov and he had to back out. So Busov still in P9 with Friedman all over the back of Busov as well in P10. So not only is Busov trying to grab the P8 from Sousa, but he does have Friedman big in his mirrors as well. So this is going to go right to the wire with Clayton.
Laws out of fuel in third.
Wow.
Laws run out of fuel in third place. Silva's just about the finish line. Sorry to I'll keep an eye on Silva cross line if you want to keep an eye on that battle.
Thank you.
And I'll let you know when you jump to Silva. He's just coming up to the final chicane now, actually. But that battle's
sideways out of the chicane, and he's lost 2 positions, and that is disaster for Busov, as he will now move down into P11 as Friedman and Clayton overtake him. So Sousa will get
P1.
P8, and Silver coming across the line to win race 1 here at Zolder. Congratulations to Silver with Vortel in P2. Law, as mentioned, out of fuel. Yep. So Townsend will get the final podium position in P3 with Crows in P4. Kobe will just finish in front of Mornveg for P5 and Mornveg for P6. And Souza will get P7 then with Freeman in P8, Clayton in P9, and Olmac finishing in P10. Of course, first position for Mornveg, second for Clayton, and Olmac in third for the amateurs. Wow, what an ending, John.
What an ending, and it's still going on because Mulnix is about to take another position. It will only be for vanity's sake. He's in 21st position. He was down. Oh, wow. Law, that's not the play. If you're going to run out of fuel, you need to do something other than just stop on the exit to the last corner. I'm not sure my heart could take that again. Please don't do that. I am an elderly gentleman. Thank you very much. But Mulnick's making it back up 10, 12 positions there at the end. But what a race to start in Mornveg. It's an ill wind that blows nobody some good. It was an ill wind that blew the way of Clayton. It's seen him ejected from the top spot of the podium. Mornveg and Silva, though, bringing home the wins in the penultimate round, race 1. Let's go the BMW podium, says Drofton. Indeed does it. He only way down there. Law is out of fuel, as he was pointing out as well, but as Milden was pointing out in the chat. But yeah, so where is Law actually going to be classified in that one?
It says
27th, DNF.
Yeah.
So you'll get a DNF for that because he didn't have the momentum to cross the finish line.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, from the podium to DNF in half a lap. I did say, and it's funny as well, Sean, because I did say at the start, I made a point of saying that refueling is allowed in the pits, because even though there's no mandatory pit stops, the drivers do like to run the cars as close as possible. I even said it in quali, and Law, unfortunately, proving that point to be true.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for him. I do feel for him, but at the same time, it's like, for me personally, you know, I would put like an extra lap just in case, because I don't think one lap makes that much of a difference to the weight of the car. I could be wrong, John, but that is my theory.
I mean, a litre weighs a kilogram. So in the Ferrari, he'd be doing about 2.8 litres a lap, so he'd be about 2.8 kilograms. But I'm like you, I drive middle engine rear wheel drive cars. I drive the Ferrari. I like to have an extra 3 laps just so there's a bit of weight in the car at the end, because it's amazing how much difference it makes to the cornering abilities and the weight transfer of the car. Just having that little bit extra petrol in the tank, that extra 3 bags of sugars effectively. 9 bags of sugar, because I'm about 3 litres a lap, 3 laps, 9 kilograms. So yeah, an extra 9-10 kilograms in the car, but certainly not proven to be the case for Law. I'm sure he will be much more fastidious on his calculations, because next up, Sean, it is the 40-minute race. Now the 20-minute feature's done. It's time for the drivers to really get down to business.
Yes, indeed, and hopefully it'll be a little bit more of a calmer race. But I did sort of mention, didn't I, before race 1 started, that because obviously it's a super sprint race, isn't it? 20 minutes. That drivers do tend to try to make big moves and stuff, and to be fair, actually, I've seen worse. I've seen a lot worse, and especially if you saw from the GT3 nightclub that myself and George Cook does on Friday nights, the carnage at Bathurst was yeah, it was quite ridiculous. What
you would expect at Bathurst?
yeah, of course. But it was, cars left, right, and centre just Yeah, it was a mess. It was a real mess. So to be fair, it wasn't too bad for race one here at Zolder. But yeah, race two, an extra 20 minutes, so drivers can be a little bit more patient and think about their moves. Let's just say so. So yeah, really looking forward to it. But this is Busov's last chance though to sort of try and get a good result and more importantly get closer to Vortel, if not ideally in front of him, because if he doesn't, then I feel that Vortel will be in a prime position to claim the championship, John.
Yeah, a 28-point lead is what you had going into this race, and with the massive difference in the finishing positions over that race, that is going to be that lead is going to be increased. I'm just quickly. Busov finished 7th, so there's going to be another 12-point difference. So that gap has increased by 12 points. So going into this race, Vortel has a 40-point lead, and it's 40 points for a win.
It is indeed, yeah. So and Vortel's record as well. So I've got it in front of me actually. Vortel's record is he's won more races than he's had. Yeah, so basically he's won 8 races out of 16. Well, not including tonight, obviously, but yeah, 8 wins out of 16, and he had the races that he didn't get a win. He got a P2 and a P3, and then round 4 he got a DNS and DNF. So, other than round 4, he's basically finished on podium every race.
Yeah, if he finishes the race, he finishes on the podium.
Yes.
Which is not a bad way to win. Which is not a bad way to win championships.
No, it's not.
Not a bad way at all. But Busov, we're talking about Vortel, so consistent. Busov, I mean, it really is a case of what could be for Busov as well, because he's had finishes at 20th position in race number 1, round 1, race 1, race 2, round 1, 10th, 15th. Round 3, race 1, and 4th and 5th, round 4, race 1, and round 6, race 2. And he still finds himself 65 points ahead of Pedro Silva. Pedro, that gap will be closing towards the end of the race. So, Busov not only needs to get points to try and catch up to Vortel and bring the fight to the last week, Sean, he needs to start looking over his shoulder, because that's a lot of points he's just dropped to Silva. And if he does the same again this race, that puts Silva within, I think, about 28 points of him going into the final 2 races again. So Busov really is needing to look both front and back here going into this race to try and make sure he really needs a race win here.
He does indeed, but that is not going to be easy, is it, from P6, of course?
No. Well, it is, because he'll be the 6th car into the first chicane.
Yeah.
So it depends how the first 5 cars get into the first chicane. I would rather be the 1st or the 6th, to be honest. Yeah, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, that's, That's hear him, scare him on lap 1.
Yeah. He's going to have to pray for a miracle, I think, John, personally. And obviously, as we already know, and as what you've seen in the standings, Vortel is a very, very consistent driver. And Pedro Silva has been a man on form lately as well. So he was absent in round 5, but round 4 and round 6, he got... so basically, he's got 2 race wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. So
not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad at all, is it? So yeah, he's definitely got his work cut out. But anything can happen, of course, John, and normally it does as well.
Yeah, and we just saw that. I mean, Monveg and Clayton changing positions early in the race, and then Clayton making that little mistake later on. Monveg taking the win. He's going to start out on pole position again for the Arms, and Vlotin back to third place again for the race. Can Allmark make that one stick again? Mulnix will be hoping for a much better start himself, and Wazzer caught up in those early incidents, back to 14th and 17th overall respectively. Mulnix making up a lot of places towards the end of the race, so again he could be one to watch over this race. Could really threaten Souza and Friedman ahead of him if they get caught up too much battling with the two Arms just ahead of them. Sean, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you take the start of the race. As you know, I've been doing a fair bit of comedy today. I really need to get myself a drink, as you could probably hear. So you take off the start of the race. I will be back with you very, very shortly, bud, okay?
No problem, mate. You clear that throat of yours. So as things goes then, Silva and Vortel all McLaren front row, and then we've got Crows and Townsend on row two, can't speak today. Then we got Law and Busov on row 3, Kobe and Maximilian on row 4. Of course, Maximilian, the first of the amateur drivers, and then we've got Clayton and Friedman on row 5, with Clayton number 2 for the amateur drivers. So drivers are just on the back stretch now, isn't it? So not long to go until we start race 2 of the Super Sprint Series. We pray for a great start and a clean start from the drivers. Just looking back on chat as well with Milden with the McLarens, absolutely dominant. But yeah, cars are just lining up now as we come across the start-finish line to start race 2 of the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Series, round 7 at Zolder. It's green and away we go. And Silva gets a really good start away from Vortel, Crows and Townsend. Townsend getting a bad exit, and Law is potentially on the outside. And Law just about squeezes in front of Townsend into P4, and potentially as well, that is Busov, I think, up the inside of Townsend, I believe. Yes, it is. Busov up into P4, Townsend down into P5. And we got a car off. I think that was Molnix. I'm not 100% sure. Who was that in the background? I can't. Wait a minute. That is Descartes. Descartes. Okay. Oh, we've got more cars in the background. More cars in the background that I've missed out on. I think that is 246. 246 is Trotman. And Townsend is getting past as well from Clack. I don't recognise that driver. Is that a new driver for the amateurs? Well, he gets in front of Townsend anyway, but let's go back up to the top then, because we've still got Silva, who's in the lead of the race, with Vortel in P2. Then we got Law with Crows side by side, but Law gets up the inside to reclaim that P3. Crows down into P4 with Busov just behind the P5. Townsend in P6 with Kobe Alerts in P7. Morveg just behind in P8 with Clayton. Closely follows behind the P9, and Friedman in P10 under all sorts of pressure from Bruno Olmack in P11, or third in the amateurs. Having an excellent start for the amateurs, with Naisbitt not too far behind and got very close to the back of Olmack as well. But we need to keep on board with the third, fourth and fifth positions, because Busov very, very close to the back of Crows now. pretty much on his gearbox as we go through the right-hander, and Busov goes a little bit wide on the exit as well. Gets away with it as we approach the hairpin. Gets on the brakes nicely though, and will remain within about 2/10 of Melvin Krause.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back. There's been a fair bit of
action. Thank you very much. Yeah, there has. Malnick's down, Wazzer up, Friedman up, Allmark up. Silva leading, Vortel in second, Law in third, Kroos in fourth, Buzov in fifth, Townsend in sixth. Okay, don't even try and give me an update everything that's happened, because it's all changed right through the field clearly while I've been. All I did was make a cup of tea, goodness me. That's 4 minutes.
There was a lot that
that's
happened.
A lot overly taken action.
There was a lot that happened that I couldn't keep up, to be honest, mate, because there was quite a few cars off the road, and as the PS5 normally does with the whole sort of leaderboard messing up, I just got a little bit lost. So, but what I can say is that Law has moved up into P3, and Townsend lost 2 positions, with Busov moving up into P5 as well, yeah, and everyone from P7 moving up, because the driver, I've just realised that did lose many positions, was Souza. So Souza is down into P26. So I did see a car.
Okay.
I saw a car in the background. I couldn't work out who it was, but yes, it is Souza. So yeah, losing out on what, 20 positions?
Something in that region, yes, yeah. Certainly. He does have a lot of arms ahead of him, so he's still in the top 50, just outside the top 10, in fact.
And also
for the pros.
Di Stefano, P24. I'm pretty sure he was a lot higher than that before. So that is what I missed. I see 2 cars off, couldn't work out who they were, yeah, now we've got the answer.
Indeed we do, indeed we do. The answer that we don't have, who's going to win the arms? 8th and 9th separated by 0.3 of a second, and up at the front there, 4th and 5th, Sean. Kroos and Buzov. Buzov can see Silva. I mean, this is the worst possible position for Buzov. Not only is Vortel ahead of him, Silva is ahead of Vortel. This puts an even bigger cushion between Silva and Buzov in the championship. The stakes just raised so much higher for Buzov now. The pressure in that Porsche surely going to be fairly massive.
Yes, indeed. I mean, okay, we're only 6 minutes into race 2, but yeah, right now Buzov is going to have the race of his life. He's going to have to really chase down Melvin Krause, make the move on him and get it done. And he's, yeah, like I say, he's really going to have to push for the whole race to kind of lower that deficit, let's just say, because right now, yeah, it's not good news for him.
No, Silva, and the reason I'm saying that, I know it's only a few minutes into the race, but Silva is flying.
Indeed.
I mean, to have a 3-second gap 4 laps in, that's almost the second a lap he's putting on the rest of the field.
Yes, indeed.
That is impressive. That is impressive to be doing that against this field this early. He did have that 4/10 gap in qualifying, Sean, and that is really playing out on track, as I say. 4 laps in, almost the second a lap. Yeah, Buzov, a lot of hard work to do. Townsend is going to be applying that pressure as well. Silva sailing away up at the front. Clayton and Monveg still battling for 8th and 9th, but yeah, Buzov, the season is definitely taking a turn for the worse at the moment. 33 minutes though to sort it out in that Porsche.
Yes indeed. Yeah, he's only 7 tenths behind, but Melvin Krause, in fact, it's less than 7 tenths actually, John. It's more like 1 or 2 tenths now. So I think Krause may have made a little bit of a mistake coming out.
Oh, somebody's off.
Oh, someone off.
Somebody's off. Someone's off. It's mid-pack. It's Allmark. It's Allmark again. It's Allmark who's binned it. He's tumbling down the order. It's the McLaren, the second chicane On the exit, I'm not sure if he hit the curb. I'm not going to go back and have a look in the replay because it is a bit sticky. But he's dropped down. Vlottin back on the podium in the Amstel. And again, I should say apologies to the Amstel race one that didn't get much coverage. The battling up at the front was absolutely intense, but there is still some close battles going on just outside the top 10, and Chris Gedman feeling the pressure from Cloyters as well. But second race on the trot, Sean. Allmark makes a mistake. Vlottin straight onto the podium. Incredible stuff.
Yes, indeed. Vlottin is. I think he's third.
Fifth in the championship.
Is it
fifth in the championship.
Okay.
Allmark second.
Oh, who was that? That was Law, wasn't it? Law was the one that went spinning out of control out of the chicane. I think he went over too much of that chunky curb. And Law, I think, has gone down to about P7 as Kobe goes across, cuts the chicane there. Didn't quite see as I was looking down the list. But Law is in P6 then because of Kobe's mistake there. But big mistake from Law, of course, and Busov. That is kind of what he needs, really. Up into P4 with Crows and P3.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, not only that, it couldn't have worked out better because the driver that lost it and gave up the position wasn't the one whose slipstream he's currently in. He's still got the slipstream overtake, so Busov has just gone from staring down the barrel of fifth, potentially sixth. There is a podium on the horizon. I mean, it's a horizon that won't feature silver. 4.6 seconds is the gap that he has now got. So not only has Busov got to find a way past Kroos, he's then got to catch up to Vortel, get past Vortel, and then try and find that 4.5 seconds on silver. Massive ass. Getting on the podium though, it certainly keeps it a lot closer going into the final round.
Indeed, John. Oh, and Busov had a moment out of the chicane.
Oh, he did.
What can I say? You know, I think it's a commentator's curse there, John, because, you know, obviously I mentioned it, and every time I mention any facts of what John... Oh, in the background, Townsend into the barrier. So Townsend was chasing down Busov and went very wide into the barrier. That's going to give him some damage. Law is up the inside as well. Should be taking that P5 away from Townsend. And yes, he does. And he's got Kobe all over the back of him as well. Breathing down his neck for that P6, of course.
Oh, he really does, and not only that, this is bringing the battle between Monveg and Clayton really under the microscope for me, because these two, the two arms are battling out for the lead while the pros ahead of them are taking turns in shadow realming themselves. They're all safely rejoining, thankfully, but Monveg and Clayton more than once or twice have had to take some avoiding action, and he's trying to go the long way around outside. He completely avoids the curb on the right. That is the one that killed him. He almost climbs into the front. Will Friedman's AMG there does manage to avoid that contact, but the battle between the arms, this one is right down to the checkered flag. If Clayton somehow was to win this out of the last corner, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't either, John. To be fair, he's clearly been a man on form at Zolder. Clearly likes the... Oh, my God! And that was Friedman that completely missed his breaking point. Fair play to Friedman for coming off the racing line. Otherwise, he would have careered into Clayton, who was in front of him at the time. And he's waiting on the side of the track, and he has lost so many positions.
Yeah, he has there as well. Souza could well be in for a slap on the wrist. He's just used the old push to pass on one of the arms, so I'd imagine that one's going to get hauled up by the stewards. I imagine he's a bit frustrated at being down the field, but I don't imagine it's much of the arm's fault. Stefano, 22nd position is the next driver. Looked like a wheel disconnect for Will. Oh, B.
It seemed very, very
Could
strange.
well be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it was on the straight as well when it was either he missed his braking, but it just seemed weird because he just straight away went diagonal. So, yeah. Oh,
That's a wheel disconnect.
Yeah, that's.
If you're saying he went insta diagonal, then yeah, that's more than likely a wheel disconnect.
Yeah. So it looks like he's managed to get power to the wheel though since. So and I think he just made a move there as well. So Freeman, I think he's up into P18 now. But even so, that is curses for his race. Let's just say.
Yeah, it really is. But it's been a tale of two races this evening, certainly for quite a few. Naisbitt in the pits.
Yeah.
Naisbitt in the pits.
From what was a really good position as well.
Yes, it was. Well, the ill wind that blows nobody some good. I was going to talk about a race of two races. I was going to highlight the driver in 11th position, just behind what you're watching there, Mulnick's. Race number 1 ended up down in 30th position, fought his way back in this one. Thankfully had a nice clean start to the race and is tracking inside the top 10 of the pros, so I think a well-deserved top 10 definitely on the cards. He does have the AM podium sitting Vlottin just behind the Vlottin, unlikely to make any, oh no, never mind, retract that statement. If we jump on board with 13th position and that is very close then for that podium. So Allmark trying to get his way back inside the top 5, whereas Robinson and Vlottin are now scrapping over that final position on the podium. Evening, Mr. Milden. How come you're not on track?
And
Milden.
I've got to say as well, John, sorry, I just sorry for interrupting you, but Robinson is the current leader of the amateurs going into race 7 here at Zolder.
Oh, of course he is, yes, Stuart Robinson in the Ferrari. Of course I mentioned that. It was the Ferrari leading the championship. Of course I mentioned that. 2:15s, but yeah, 342 points, 1 point gap, which is more than handy. He just needs to keep himself in the top 5 till the end of the season, and he'll be looking good for the championship win. Really attacking those curves though. But yeah, he is putting the pressure on Vlottin, as you say, championship leader. So definitely got himself a good bit of form. Let me just go back to your screen as well. There we go. I had that closed for a second. My apologies. You're on board still yet with Robinson. Monveg and Clayton. I'm going to keep an eye on them. And in fact, Law as well.
Yeah.
After that mistake he's made there, Sean, he has closed right back up on Buzov. So Buzov may have thought he was chasing down a podium. Kroos has said goodbye. And Law is very much saying hello once again.
Yeah, Law is definitely Mr. Competitive. He always gives it his best go, and always makes it very difficult for any driver, of course. And Busov, Law, I think maybe got on the brakes a bit late. I'm not really sure. It looked like he cut the corner there. Not 100% sure because couldn't quite see from that angle, but Law has got in front of Busov.
Yeah, he has, and we've just had notification in the chat that the same things just happened to Friedman again at the same part of the track.
Oh my God! Have they both got Fanatec? Have they? Is this a Fanatec issue, or do you think it's something to do with?
I don't know.
The game.
Yeah, I don't know. That is a bit of a weird one. Maybe a space bump. There used to be a rather famous space bump at the bottom of Eau Rouge, Radion. I'm sure Floppy Fox can contest, actually. I think he was in the race when Baggy comes. It was a lap after the first time. Oh, it seems okay now. Right, okay. So it happened again to him in the same place the lap after, but he does seem to be running okay now. Right, okay. So yeah, maybe he did. Yeah, missing his brakes twice in a row. Doesn't seem like a mistake you would expect from Friedman. He is a solidly consistent driver, but he is back out and running. Busov out and running as well, and he is now chasing back Law. So as you spotted there, Law somehow managing to send himself completely over the curves. I was watching the battle for the lead of the arms, which is still millimetres apart. But yeah, Buzov, that task just got a bit harder, Sean. Talk about a race, an evening of two races, almost like a game of two halves. But certainly the highs and the... Whoa, Clayton. He's going to hold his brakes.
Oh, yes.
Yep, Clayton's just tagged the back of Monveg, but he's held his brakes so as not to take any advantage. But Monveg doing well to hold on the back of the Lambo. There was a shimmying and a shaking going on, but they did steady on the route. He's run a bit deep in the hairpin, using all that exit curve. So yeah, the car balanced again. Hopefully the tyres not too overcooked.
No.
But that battle's still close.
It's it's still, well, it's pretty much...
Oh, Robinson's got it done. Sorry to interrupt you, Sean, but Robinson's got it done. He's on the podium.
Yes, and Mornveg went very sideways out of the last turn of the chicane, and Clayton is up the inside of Mornveg, and I think he has made it stick. Yes, he has. So Clayton up into P1 for the amateurs. So,
wow, Clayton into P1 and Robinson up to P3, so the podium positions all changing at the moment. I think Clayton and Monveg will definitely be more than grateful. They've got Wazzer and Mulner separating them from the rest of the charging arms, because Robinson, he is definitely charging. He has got himself past Vloten, and he's already got himself a handy little gap. There's going to be no extra slipstream into the chicane for Vloten after that. Descartes has got himself a drive-through penalty for track limits. He's only got 1 lap left to serve it as well.
Car number 205. Yeah, I saw that 2 laps ago. Yeah. Well, this is obviously this is really good news for Robinson. As Vloten went wide out of that turn there. Was it Vloten or was it?
No, it was a back marker.
Oh, okay. Because I see a yellow car, and then we've got 2 yellow cars there. Right, okay. So
there's really as well yellow race cars.
So Vloten and the Brave both in the yellow Ferrari, and I thought I saw a yellow car go wide out the chicane or out the exit. So I got confused. I don't know. But anyways...
Oh yeah, Gedman in the background as well, and a yellow Beamer. Coiters is the other yellow Ferrari, 21st, right. Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the car that we were clocked in the background there. The hairpins in the chicanes, they bring them back close to one another. Monveg, half a second down on Clayton, and out of turn number 4, it looks like Clayton's really done some running, 8/10 of a second. So Clayton, that is some game of patience he's been playing, Sean. He was behind Monveg for the whole first half of the race. We're now just got into the second half of the race, and he is stretching that gap. Monveg really struggling to keep up with him at the minute, and he's losing time to Wazzer behind now.
Yes, indeed. But Wazzer has risen a few positions though. I believe he qualify like P15, P16, I think. So Wazzer has made a few positions up, at least. But yeah, phenomenal drive from the 2 amateur drivers of Clayton.
17th.
Was it 17th? There you go. So,
17th for Wazzer, yeah.
Yeah. So he's made 7 positions up in the race, which is no mean feat at all. And but yeah, Clayton and Mornveg, though, superb drives from the amateurs, and definitely a big shout for them for the. To be a pro driver next season, of course, mixing it up with the current pro drivers, it's really, really good to see.
Yeah, it bodes well for the future of the competition. This is the strength that you've got right through the field, leading the arms. Good to see that they'll be promoted up to the pros, and they'll more than definitely be worthy inclusion. Sorry, Sean.
Lord nearly went into the side of Crows as they went into the chicane. He has got the inside line because Crows had to kind of take evasive action himself, and they are side by side as they go through the chicane. They don't touch, which was a bit of a miracle, to be honest, but Kroos just manages to get his nose in front, and Law had to back out, of course. Busov is just behind Law as well, so there is a crazy battle going on for P3 right now. Law just in front of Busov as they exited the hairpin, and as we come up to the last chicane, I don't think Busov's going to be able to send it, but yeah, barely a second between Kroos, Law and Busov, John.
Yeah, unbelievably close up there. And we're seeing, some of the top drivers just really showing how difficult a track Zolder can be. The slightest little mistakes here and there. The car's unsettled, unbalanced, and it brings the battles right back into contention. I'm watching more battles further down the field as well. But this one with Kroos, and in fact, oh no, that's not Townsend, that's another lap to BMW there. I thought we were seeing more positions change. But Townsend has stayed ahead, alias Clayton. There is another BMW there. Who is that? Oh, it's Descartes, of course, with that penalty. Back in 21st position, yep, so that's him in the middle of the field at the moment, but still. 4/10 separating Law from close. They've got 16 minutes separating them from the checkered flag, and they've got Silva still showing some good pace at the front. He's likely to just be managing the race at this point. The gap back down to 4 seconds, so Vortel has managed to find 6/10, or he's and in fact I'll tell you what, 14th position, 15th position. If we jump on there, it's a battle, Vlotin and Olemak. It's a battle that we've seen so far in the race. It's always been for the podium. Now it's for 5th position. After the 2 off tracks the drivers have suffered, they find themselves battling for positions off the podium.
He's gone for it, and he does make. Oh, there's contact. That was contact.
I don't think there was.
There was definitely contact between Olmak and. I saw another car. I don't know who it was, but it definitely spun Olmak round in the background. Unfortunately, the leaderboard was in the way, but I definitely see him spin, like go sideways at least. But the contact wasn't sufficient enough that he actually completely lost control of the car. So it actually manages to keep it in a straight line, which is good to see. But yeah, there was definite contact. Unless I'm going
no, there was. Well, it looked like one of the cars spun.
But John, in
P8, wow, the arms
is Law, and Law was battling with Kroos, I believe, wasn't it, for P3?
Yes.
I did see him very close before you told me to turn the attention to Vlotin, and yeah. There obviously has been a coming together somewhat. So Busov now in P3, and
he is indeed. Yeah, I'm just furiously cycling through the replay. I'll see if I can get some further information on that one.
It's just funny how things fall into your lap, though, isn't it, John?
That is incredible. Yeah.
But yeah, so. I mean, Busov, he's got a 2.4 second lead over Townsend in P4. He is 14.9 seconds behind Vortel. So the chances are he's probably not going to catch up with Vortel. Vortel, who is just under 4 seconds behind Silva. As I was just about to say to Busov, he can kind of relax and not try and do anything silly as he goes wide out one of the turns there. But yeah, Busov, yeah, if he remains in P3, that is, considering how his race has gone, that would be a really good position to finish on, and at least give him a chance in the final round to do something at the Paul Ricard, of course.
Yeah, so confirmation on what happened. It was turn 1 Milden pointing that one out as well. But yeah, it was indeed in turn 1. Law caught the back of Kroos' cars. Kroos' car spun and then turned sideways. Law had no place to go. That slowed them both down. So yeah, Law rear-ended Kroos. Wasn't a huge rear-ending, but it was enough to unsettle Kroos's car and send him spinning the wrong way. He's now got to chase down Aliertz for 5th position. It is again an ill wind that blows nobody some good, because if we look up in 3rd position, it is Busov.
Indeed.
And the top 3 in the championship now have the top 3 spots on track, Sean.
Wow. That is, well, like I say, it's funny how things work out, and yeah, it's definitely going to set up for an exciting last round in this championship. Obviously, I don't want to speak too soon, John, because there is still 12 minutes to go in the race.
Yes.
And, and I've got a habit of jinxing some of the drivers, so I'm going to keep stum and yeah. But,
yeah, probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
We'll just talk about what we see and not make any guesstimations as to how things might go, just in case. Coiters is in the pits, the yellow Ferrari we saw spinning earlier, picking up some damage. So unfortunately coming in to get that repaired, and Arm's going to drop down a couple of positions back behind Will Friedman, the pro, trying to make his way past a lot of Arms as well. So still going on down at the back of the field as well, but I'm going to keep my gaze firmly on Clayton, 7th place. He finds himself at the moment just behind Kroos and Aliertz. Both of the drivers ahead have shown interest in, or no problems at all, going side by side and battling for position. And Kroos will be looking to get that 5th place back if he can. And of course, Law is just in the background of this one as well. So 11 minutes to go. Oh, we've got a car run wide.
I think that may have been.
That's a Mercedes.
385?
Wessels, it is, yeah. So that's a blue flag, just getting out of the way for the rest of the field. Getting himself a bit too far out of the way, but out of the way nonetheless. Law bringing himself right back into the way as well. Wazzer 2 seconds up.
And look at
on
Kroos.
10th place, which is Monveg.
Kroos on. Oh, I'm trying to get the right
Oh,
angle.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, he's through.
yes, he is. Just
So's
about.
Clayton.
Yeah, so's Clayton.
So's Law.
So, yes, he is.
Oh, what is he?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh!
Oh,
Full send.
God, there's a little bit of contact
Oh,
as
wow.
well. It comes to nothing, of course, but wow, that is as close as it gets, though, John.
The arm lead has changed hands. Has it? Oh no, it's not quite. It's not quite. My apologies, it's not quite changed hands, but the dynamic has definitely changed. There's now only half a second between the top 2 in the arms once again.
And look at Wazzer as well. Wazzer with the switcheroo here. Up the inside of Kobe Alerts, and he makes it stick, and Wazzer up into P7.
Wow, all changed. Closing 10 minutes is absolutely coming to life. We've got a new follower, 3L Marcus. Good evening, welcome in. Stefuzi Brada in the chat cheering on All Mac, who is got himself ahead of Vlottin again. Trying to defend him off, though. I think Vlottin's had a bit of a mistake. There's a big gap there, but up the front, Aliertz, Clayton and Monveg. Monveg still in 2nd place. Clayton still hanging on the lead. I thought he'd lost the lead of the race because his rejoin obviously was slow. You need to rejoin very, very carefully, but he came back on just in front of Monveg. Robinson not close enough to take advantage at the minute. He's about 5 seconds down, but he is 6 seconds down, sorry, but he is on the ARM podium. And Silva up at the front. Oh, he have little camera time.
Yes.
Up at the front there, Sean. 12 seconds to the good. Incredible.
That is incredible. Vortel is no slouch as well, so 12 seconds is a phenomenal drive from Silva. So, yeah, credit where credit is due. Absolutely fantastic. Busov is still in P3 as well, but yeah, 13.5 seconds down on Vortel. And then, yeah, we've got Townsend, who's been performing well. Townsend's only
6th place.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, on you go.
Yeah, so we've got Crows on the inside of Law, and Crows should hold on to that P5 for now, but Law
No chance.
is not going to give up without a fight. Well, Crows is still in front of Law, but Law is on the gearbox of Crows, with Wazza just behind as well in P7. So yeah, the fight for P5 is definitely on as we come down the straight, leading up to the chicane. And we've seen Law get on the brakes very late on previous laps. Actually gets on the brakes safely this time, and Crows, yeah, still in front, but they are neck and neck, John.
Oh, they really are. And I almost feel hard done by there. Again, I've been in that position myself, although to be fair, that was the 488 Evo I was driving. It is a slightly different beast to the 296. But certainly there for me, yeah, Law was in the prime position to get that one done. And up at the front, we're going to see more drama. Let's go and have a look at third and fourth. There's now less than a second between Townsend and Buzov. Surely, Sean, we can't have more drama for Buzov in the closing 6 minutes. I mean, let's just give him a podium for the effort, for goodness sake. Townsend, though, might see it a bit differently in the closing stages here.
Yeah, Townsend certainly trying to spoil the party for Buzov. Yeah, down to a second now. Yeah, Buzov... well, as I said, there was 6 minutes left of the race. You know, his life will absolutely depend on defending a third position. So we'll see in the closing stages. But this is what the Sprint Series is all about, John. These types of races, they never let us down. There's always great action throughout the race. And you're getting first-hand experience, John.
Oh yes, I really have. It's been a while since I've seen first-hand the PS5. Of course, we watched the broadcast.
Wazza just lost it. Law actually went a little bit sideways, and then Wazza actually went completely sideways out of the chicane, and he has actually lost some positions, and I think that is Molnick's just behind him. So Wazza has moved down from P7 down into P10.
Wow, he's got Molnick's just behind him. Next, one of the drivers that was saying didn't get a fair rub of the green in race number 1. He's been handed an absolute gilt-edged opportunity here. This is incredible stuff from Molnick. Keep your head down, get those consistent laps. To finish first, you must first finish. Molnick personifying that strategy beautifully at the minute, and got a chance to get right inside that top 10, no problem whatsoever. Clayton and Monvig now separated by a second. Buzov and Townsend out to 9/10 of a second. Alliarts has now come under serious pressure from Clayton. I'm seeing here, I'm not sure if Alliarts has maybe overcooked the tyres a little bit with that slight sideways action, Sean. Easy for me to say, but Clayton all over the back, and he can't afford to get caught in a fight because second place in the arms is just behind him coming into the chicane.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Monvig got a lot of that curve actually, but manages to keep the car straight still. But of course, yeah, Clayton all over the back of Kobe Alerts as we go through the Villeneuve chicane, and yeah, nice and tidy through there. And as we alluded to earlier on, really should be really proud of his performance in the amateur class, of course. Really putting a class driver like Kobe under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, he is, again, just reiterating the fact that you and I were bringing up earlier on, that these drivers are going to be a worthy inclusion to the pro ranks next season. The racing's only going to get better.
Oh, there was that was Ulvig, yeah. Ulvig sideways, and so unlucky. And it just shows you how quickly...
Oh, here comes Robinson.
Yeah, there is Robinson. He's a few seconds behind, but still, yeah. It can all change in an instant, and that was a prime example there, John.
Oh, Absolutely 100%. And yeah, just even in the closing stages, I said as well, this is the type of track you cannot take your eyes off the prize for a millisecond. There's no long straights here, like Blanchimont or the Kemmel Straight or the back stretch at Suzuka, where you can rehydrate yourself, look at your lap times.
And speaking of things changing, Law was spinning off the side of the circuit, and I am struggling to see where he is on the circuit now after seeing the back end of that.
Chicane.
402 is the... Is it, sorry, 402?
He's behind Wazar. He's behind Monveg.
Wow. P11. There you go. Behind Monveg, as you said. So...
Molnick's in 9th. Molnick's is 8th overall in the pros. There you go. Stick with it. Your first race might not go well, but look at that. Not reveling in any drivers making mistakes or having incidents. Race drivers will have mistakes and incidents. Some of them are going to be on the rough end of it. Some of them are going to be on the good end of it. And I'm absolutely delighted to see that after his efforts in the first race to get back from outside 30 all the way into the top 15. He's had a phenomenal drive. Molnick's with the consistency, keeping his nose clean and the head down. And yeah, making it back into the top 10, 8th place in the pros. Phenomenal. That's yeah, I'm loving that one. Loving that one, Sean.
And speaking of drama as well, the gap between Busov and Townsend down to 6/10 now, John. As I think there's going to be one more lap after this one before the very end. So there's going to be some big drama in the very closing stages of this race.
Oh yeah, there really is. Silva's in a different league. Already finished. He's in the car park getting himself a bovril and a pie or a hot dog, whichever he prefers. He's done and dusted. Big Pappy B and Stafuzi Brada, thank you very much for the follows. Welcome to the Formula Racing League channel, the PS5 channel. There's a PC channel and on YouTube as well. All the races. If you're enjoying the racing action, and let's face it, if you're a race fan, you absolutely are. Then Formula Racing League have got a YouTube channel as well. All the races back catalogued on there, so make sure you get yourself over there, give them a free subscribe, and get all the videos as they're uploading, stay up to date with all the races that we've got going on here. And there is lots going on at Formula Racing League. You'll hear this man Sean Madden, quite a few of them as well. I do pop up here and there, but we're 20 seconds away from Silva pulling off an absolute world-class performance here, Sean. He is oodles ahead of the rest of the field, back-to-back wins. That is yeah, outstanding performance from Silva.
Yes, indeed. No, I was on board with Busov and Townsend, and there was a back marker in between as they approached the chicane, and Townsend didn't really have anywhere to go, and there was a slight bit of contact.
P1.
P1, yes, P1 will go to Silva for a phenomenal victory. So congratulations to Silva for back-to-back race wins, of course. And Vortel will come across the line with an excellent second position. Then we've got Busov and Townsend, who are still neck and neck as we approach the final chicane. Townsend got on the brakes a lot later, and they are literally sticking together as they come across the start-finish line. But Busov will claim that last podium position with Townsend. He was closing thick and fast, but will be in P4 with Crows coming across the line in P5, with Kobe Alerts finishing just in front of Clayton. But a race win for Clayton in the amateurs, with P9 going to Law. Yes. I think that was a back marker, in fact. But Robinson gets an excellent P2 for the amateurs, with them Brave just finishing in front of Morveg across the line. That was near enough photo finish between the two of them. And then Olmak will claim P5 for the amateurs. Molnix gets P13 in the end, John.
He does indeed, and I took my eyes off the prize here. I was looking for a Discord link to share. Totally disrespectful. Again, the arms. Apologies when they give you more coverage in the first race, and apologies. Den Brave gets ahead the Monveg. Robinson, championship leader, back up to second place.
Damien Roos there, like before the start-finish line, clatters into the wall and spins. I mean, yeah, maybe one for the cameras there, maybe, but still, quite funny to see.
Oh yeah, that's incredible racing. Incredible. Chris Gedman did tell me that the racing in this was very close. And I think that was a massive understatement, if I'm being honest, because that was even closer than even I could have imagined. Absolutely incredible drives all round. I mean, Clayton to bring home the win, Robinson to get second, then Brave to get third.
Yeah.
In the arms, Morvig fourth, and Olmark and Vlotten fifth and sixth. Gedman got himself eighth there. That throws the cat amongst the pigeons, to say the least, in the arms. And Sean, if you give us a rundown of the pro standings. Oh, this final round, baby. Oh, bring it on.
Yeah, exactly, John. Yeah, Silva gets two wins today, actually. Finishes P1 in race 2 with Vortel in P2. Then Busov, of course, getting the last podium position in P3. Is definitely going to make things very spicy in the grand finale at the Paul Ricard circuit for round 8, of course, of this Super Sprint Series. We've got Townsend in P4 with Crows in P5, Kobe Alerts in P6 with Jay Wazza finishing in the top 7. Then Clayton is 8th overall, but of course wins it for the amateurs. Law gets P9 in the end. Very topsy-turvy race for him, of course, with Stuart Robertson getting the top 10 position, with Brave, Mornveg, Molnix, Olmac, Souza. So even for Souza gets back up into P15 with Lowton 16, Roos 17, Gedman 18, Zabazin. No, John, can you help me here?
Yes, I can. I'm furiously copying and pasting. Zabzinyak.
Right, okay, thank you,
There
John.
we go. You are welcome.
With Descartes in the top 20. Will Freeman gets P21 with Dazza Townsend in P22. He's got to be proud of that result, Dazza. Then I think it's Prol in P23 with Reese P24. Oh God, that's another one I'm going to struggle with. Delaziz, I think his first name is, in P25 with Clack in P26, Frankenberg in P27, Vessels in P28, Trotman in P29, Coitus in the top 30 with Cablo in P31, Naisbit in P32. In fact, it was Cablo and Naisbit that got DNFs, of course. So those are the results.
And what results they are for next time out, last time out. Only 2 races left for the drivers to get those points. Dazza happy enough with the result, he says. Qualified 14th in the pros and finished 13th in the pros. Got to be happy with that. Only way was up indeed, Dazza. Every great journey starts with one step. I can see the end of Floppy Fox's sentence. Now remember, Michael, I commentate on a lot of the PC races you're on, so be careful. Don't poke the bear too hard. Let me just see what you've put. You'll pronounce any name perfectly, just don't call yourself Purple Burglar Alarm. Now let me just look at my Irish wristwatch and confirm that I know what time it is. And Purple Burglar Alarm is within my repertoire, young man. Thank you very much. Sorry, Sean.
That's okay, no worries. Just got to say, obviously looking ahead to next week, of course, the grand finale. We do take a short trip to next door neighbours, France, for round 8 of the Paul Ricard circuit. This is round 8 of the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Series, and hopefully we will find out who will be crowned champion for both the pros and the am drivers. Of course, you can see it live on this very channel. It's at Formula Racing League TV _PS5 on the 3rd of September at 7:45 p.m. British summertime. So do please tune in. You'll be absolutely nuts to miss it, of course. It's going to be an absolute spectacular affair. Also, just a quick note that we do also have the FRL Season 10 of the Taco Tuesday Tier 2 event coming up this Tuesday on the 29th of August at 8:15 British summertime. That is PM, of course, on the Formula Racing TV 2 channel. That will be hosted by myself and Luke Taylor for the 60-minute race at Zolder. So I hope to see you on there too, with Tom Cairns hosting the Tier 1s on the brother channel, which is, of course, Formula Racing League TV _PS5, to also show some support for him. But yeah, I've just got to, I've got to ask you, John, who do you think is your driver of the day?
Molnix.
Molnix, yeah? You're going for
Molnix.
that one?
Grit, determination, and a good finishing position. Not to take anything away from the drivers up at the front. I mean, Silva can walk away with driver of the day all day long. He was phenomenal in qualifying from start to finish. But yeah, just Molnix for me stood out. Helps that he's driving a Ferrari, of course, as well. But yeah, I'll go for Molnix.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to give it to Silva, aren't I? I'm sorry to sort of
somebody's
spoil
got
the
to.
party,
Yep.
but I have to. It was a faultless race from him. Faultless 2 races, should I say, from him, claiming both victories, of course. So yeah, that is my driver of the day. I don't know about chat whether or not you've got a driver of the day, but yeah, certainly I tend to get the final say though, John. So so that
he's pulling rank. I love to see it. Exactly, 100%. It's your broadcast. You're the lead commentator. You do as you will, but I'll see you in the office afterwards. Brilliant.
but yeah, so obviously we've got to say congratulations to Silva for the race wins, also the podium runners as well, finally getting, of course, Busov on the podium, which keeps him in the running for the championship. And of course, all the drivers that made it through round 7 here at Zolder. As I said, it's an absolute fantastic race on show for all of us to see. And yeah, I've got to thank the sponsors, of course, FRL as well, for putting on such a grand event as well. And of course, thanking everyone in chat. You know, we always love to have you in chat and supporting us commentators and telling us how it is, if there is anything that we've missed, which is often quite a lot. So thank you very much. And then most but not least, got to say thank you to boss John Wright. Yeah, I made up for it now, haven't I?
That's me. I mean, just about. That, a cup of tea and a couple of biscuits. You'll be back in the good books. But yeah, no, really, congratulations to everyone that made it. What a race that was. I guarantee you'll all be back to see the finale next week as well. Obviously, big shout out to the sponsors, Pure Sim Gear, designed by sim racers for sim racers. Enhance your sim racing experience now at simracinggloves.com. I've popped the YouTube link in the channel as well, so make sure you give all of Formula Racing League's channels a follow on Twitch. As Sean mentioned, 2 channels just for the PS5. That is the dedication I've got to sim racing, and all on YouTube as well. Thanks to everyone in the chat, keeping us up to date with everything going on, and thank you to Sean, my most benevolent of hosts this evening. You have been amazing, kid.
Thank you, John. I didn't expect the compliment after what I said earlier, but
oh yeah, we can keep that for off air, that's fine. The public face is happening.
Yeah, I appreciate it all the same, John. But yeah, guys, I've been Sean Madden. It's been a real pleasure hosting this, obviously this fantastic event, round 7 of the FRL Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Sunday here at Zolder. So it's a thank you and good night, everyone.
Good night.